Now we're going to take a little bit of time to go through this code so that you understand what it's doing and why, and that will give you a better sense of why we make the changes that we do when we start to convert this to an object-oriented style. Okay, so we have several functions. We have build form, and if we scroll down, we have validate form. We scroll down some more, we have submit form. Scroll down a little bit more, we have build page, and then we have theme page. And down below that, we have an array of data. This is to create the contact form. So we have the various elements like name, email, comment, and the submit button. And this has all been abstracted into an array. Now this is an idea that we went over in the PHP Programming Basics collection. It was the idea of creating an array of settings and data that we could then pass on to some kind of function to do any tasks that were going to be repetitive. So you see that there's no HTML in here at all. We're just passing it the data, and then a function is responsible for converting it into a form. Okay, so that's our contact form. And then we have our page elements array. And this works in a very similar way. We have a header and we have a contact form. You can see that we're passing the contact form as an item into these page elements, and we'll take a look at what happens there. So the code that actually generates the page is first running the build page function and passing it page elements, which is what we have right here. And then we run theme page and we actually display that using the print function. And we're just passing it the page content, and we're passing it the title of the page, which is contact us. So let's take a look at build page and see how that works. So I'm going to scroll up and we have build page right here. You can see it takes an array of elements. We begin with an empty output variable to avoid any errors. And then we loop through each of the elements and we pull out the key as the ID variable and the settings or values as the values variable. And then we're going to do something different depending on what the type of the value is. So we have HTML and we have form. If we scroll back down to our array, you see that the header has a type of HTML and the contact form has a type of form. Okay, let's go back up to the build page function. And so for HTML, what will happen is it will take the value inside of the values array, which is just the HTML, and it will wrap it in a div and give it an ID of whatever the key was to this element. And the idea here is that we can use this ID to both style this div in whatever way we need to, and use it as a unique identifier for other things like JavaScript or anchor tags. If it's a form, however, and this is for our contact form, what we're going to do is run the build form function and pass it the value. So again, if we scroll down to take a look here, the value for the contact form item here, which has the type of form, is the contact form array that we build right up here. So the value that we're passing to the build form function is this full array, and we'll come back to that in just a moment. I'm going to scroll back up to the build page.